Hey guys, welcome back to Clownfish TV. This is Kneon. I am here with Geeky Sparkles.
Hello.
And hopefully you found us on YouTube, because I think in a year or two you're not going to be able to find us as easily on YouTube, because all the mainstream media are coming to YouTube. All the Hollywood people.
We've been telling you.
Yeah. I mean, they're all gunning for YouTube because that's where the eyeballs are. So let's just recap this, shall we? People left mainstream media to go to YouTube because they got tired of the narrative from mainstream media. Now mainstream media sees the success over here. Now they want to come over here. It's the same with podcasting too, where independent voices kind of exploded in the podcast space. Podcasts were kind of dead. I mean, they were big in the 2000s and they kind of died. And then once the alternative voices went over there, they got big. Then the mainstream media came sniffing around, and now they're trying to take over podcasting too. All these celebrities, every damn celebrity has a freaking podcast.
Well,
now.
the kicker is, it's like if people wanted them, they would have watched them in Hollywood circles, and they didn't. They're over on YouTube because they want independent creators. And now YouTube, the guy in charge of YouTube and the media and everything else are now trying to move in and take over YouTube. But this is mostly not about CBS, not about that. But
we're going to talk about it because this is it's all interconnected, because we're seeing more and more of a push into the YouTube space. In the news arena, I guess, Fox News bragging about their views on YouTube is probably instigating some of it, because they do really well on YouTube because there's an overlap with the audience that wants, you know, a different point of view than what they're getting from like MSNBC or whatever. So they were going to YouTube. They got Fox. This is after YouTube a couple of years ago tried to censor all right-wing voices, and now Fox is like the biggest news brand over there. But the BBC is going to be producing programs over there and their news and all that. And now Bari Weiss is saying, yeah.
Well, I don't think they're going to YouTube so much as they're trying to bring YouTube to them, kind of thing. I think it's a little bit different.
I think before it's all said and done, there's not going to be any difference between mainstream media and YouTube.
But what pisses me off to no end is the fact that I saw the same thing happen with Webtoons, exact same thing, is that they come in and then everybody, the creators and the individual people, build it up. And then the elite get to come in and because they kiss ass to the people in charge, and they get to come in and just take it over. And the thing is, it's not going to last, it's not going to work, because people aren't here for them. If they were here, if they wanted them, they'd go to them. Yes. They don't. So you come in and do that, it's going to bite you in the ass. Now, one thing I noticed about Weiss is that she's saying she's going to go get the people who already have an audience and get them to play ball for her. That's a little bit different than we're just going to come in and take over. That's just, we're going to take people with a voice and bring them over here.
Yeah, so let's talk about this congealing of media. And the more things change, more they stay the same, guys. Same thing happened with cable too. Remember, cable was where you went, you know, like late night cable or whatever. That's if you couldn't hack it on a mainstream network, you would, you know, one of the big three, you would go to cable, and then cable became reputable, and then they took over cable too. That's just you know, they go where the audience is, and then they chase that audience off, and then they go someplace else, rinse and repeat.
They carpet bag wherever, you know.
Carpetbaggers, yeah. So, but Bari Weiss, at least to her credit, I mean, she did her time in the Substack thing, but she came from the New York Times, right? So, I mean, yeah, it wasn't like she just started a Substack and it just happened to blow up. It was like she already had a lot of attention from the New York Times. Then she took it over to Substack, and most of the people that are on Substack now, they're doing really well, actually came from mainstream media. So it's, you know, anyway, before we get into it any further, please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants. Guys, you'll get a woohoo if you do.
Woohoo!
Speaking of Substacks, go out to more.clownfishtv.com. That's more.clownfishtv.com for more Clownfish TV, because that's what we got out there. If you want to support the channel, that's the way to do it. We don't do super chats over here. For reasons I don't want to do it. So there you go. So this is coming from the Hollywood Reporter. Bari Weiss unveils sweeping vision. I am here to make CBS News fit for purpose in the 21st century.
Yeah, but she has some really good points. Apparently she did a PowerPoint today, and some of the things she said, though, are really good points.
Yeah. So she had an all hands meeting on Tuesday morning, probably panicking because I just did a video the other day talking about CBS News' ratings. They're terrible at this point. She named a lineup of new contributors. Our strategy until now has been to cling to the audience that remains on broadcast television. If we stick to that strategy, we are toast.
No, that's what they're all. That's what's the problem with Hollywood and these mainstream outlets. That's what they're losing the audience. So now they're going to go in where everybody else already built up, and then try to push everybody else out and take over that audience. Is what they're going to try to do.
Yeah, it's not just CBS too. I mean, this is a much bigger.
Oh yeah, they're all doing
a much bigger thing.
They've been telling you.
My gut, and we've been saying this for months. Actually, I think we've been saying it for about 2 years now. Is that a lot of the shenanigans going on with YouTube in the creator space, the views, the
money. That's probably
the money.
We need the money to pay for BBC to do stuff.
Right, the BBC's doing stuff too. There is something going on ever since the new CEO Neil Mohan came in. We've seen some shenanigans with the algorithm. We've seen creators get banned, demonetized, whatever. Very weird stuff on. Not that it interests anybody who's actually watching YouTube, but on the money end of things, there's some weird things that have never happened before. And I think all of this is pointing to YouTube becoming more of a mainstream media thing.
He's trying to make it a new streaming service and kiss Hollywood's ass because they're kissing his ass. And like Iger, he enjoys to have his ass kissed.
Yeah. We'll see how long that lasts. I mean, right now there really is no alternative. I mean, people are like, oh, TikTok. Well, TikTok's imploding now too. So it's like, and you've got Rumble, which is almost all politics. I like the guys at Rumble, but it's almost all politics. And then you have Odyssey, which I they're trying, I guess, but it's hard to compete with YouTube, right? Especially when you're propped up by Google. Anyway, this is what she said during her PowerPoint. She said, I'm not going to stand up here today and ask for your trust. I'm going to earn it, just like we have to do with our viewers. What I can give you is what I've always tried to give my readers as a journalist: transparency. Another obvious typo. What I can give my readers, a journalist, transparency. They keep putting these little typos in that normally would have been caught before because I think they're trying to be like, look, it's human generated.
It could be.
Clarity, straight talk. So here it is as a plan. I can say it. I'm here to make CBS News fit for purpose in the 21st century. Our industry has changed more in the last decade than in the last 150 years. She's not wrong about that. And the transformation isn't over yet. Far from it. It's almost impossible to conceive of how fast things will move from here. She also reiterated what her handpicked CBS Evening News anchor, Tony Ducapo, told viewers when he took over about how CBS can win back trust. We have to start by looking honestly at ourselves. We are not producing a product that enough people want. We can blame demographics or technology or fractured attention spans or news avoidance, but these are all copes.
Are you allowed to say copes, or is it?
I'm going to say it. That might be the thumbnail.
Not you, her. An alt-right dog whistle.
It's an alt-right dog whistle. But no, she's not wrong about that, because every time a network or whatever takes a hit, it's all like, well, it's because of the AI. It's because of this. It's because of it. We're in Trump's America. And people it's like, no. If anything, if people are really that anti-Trump to the level that you think they are, they should be buying more of the Washington Post or whatever. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But they're not. They should be watching more of Ms. Now or MSNBC, whatever the hell it's called. They should be but they don't. They're checking out. And what they're doing is they're listening to podcasts or watching YouTubers.
They're listening to people they feel are more reliable, more trustworthy, and are probably giving them the truth, not the truth of the twist. And those people are all on places like podcasts and YouTube, and they're getting their asses kicked.
Yeah.
I mean, CBS, not the people on YouTube. For now.
Yeah, for now. What's going to happen, and again, it's not just CBS. They're all going to try to migrate over here because they're like, oh, the audience moved. The cheese moved. So we got to go chase the cheddar, right? Because nobody's watching broadcast. And it's not just, she's not wrong. It's not just a broadcast thing. It's like, well, people just don't watch broadcast television anymore. And that's why nobody's watching Stephen Colbert. It's like, no, they're not watching Stephen Colbert because they don't want to watch Stephen Colbert. It's as simple as that. There's not enough people that want to watch him. That's the problem. She said the reality is twofold. First, not enough people trust us, not you, us, as in the mainstream media. Yes.
Truth. Wonder why. We can debate why that is, but the numbers tell the story. According to a recent Gallup poll, just 28% of people say we have their trust. Secondly, we're not doing enough to meet audiences where they are, so they are leaving us. They're not tuning out, far from it. In fact, Americans spend twice as much time consuming news today as they did 50 years ago. They're going to the vast universe of podcasts and YouTube and Twitch and newsletters, and yes, sometimes
to our nimbler competitors.
Well, they're going to those places because they're going to people they trust. And when you have people who've been honest with you the whole time, they're going to go listen to those people, not people that are just trying to push a narrative no matter what. And it's like the sky is literally blue and they're telling you it's red it'd be the other way around. But you know what I mean?
So this is where it gets complicated. She also showed a slide featuring Andrew Ross Sorkin, the New York Times and CNBC anchor, with Sorkening overlaid on his headshot. She told staff she wants to turn CBS News reporters into news brands themselves and to track creators to the news division so that can help them become larger brands themselves.
So basically, they're going to go out to TikTok and YouTube and try to find people are listening to and bring them onto CBS. Is basically what she said.
Yes, bring their audiences over. Well, so here's the story. Here's what happened with Bari Weiss. She worked for the New York Times. She left because she said she didn't feel comfortable because the place had gotten too far left for her liking, and she just didn't want to work there anymore. So then she went out and started a Substack. She did really well in Substack because of all the media, kerfuffle about her. How dare she come out and say the New York Times is too far left?
How dare she say the quiet part out loud?
How dare she say the quiet part out loud?
How dare she tell people the truth and not the narrative?
So she had the benefit of like the entire, newsosphere, whatever the fuck you want to call it, like kind of looking at her, and she used that to her advantage. She built up Substack, and then CBS News, the Ellisons paid $150 million for her blog, which is insane. But then they brought her in as the head of CBS News. So she actually kind of was an e-personality, right? But I remember when she first started doing the whole like podcast circuit, she went on Joe Rogan and totally got embarrassed on Joe Rogan because I don't think she was ready for the kinds of questions.
No.
I mean, I'm sure she probably is now, but like he was just like firing off these questions and she's kind of like, wait, I got to think on my feet. What the hell? That's not how we do things in the mainstream media.
That's how we do things here.
That's how we do things here, right? On a fucking shoestring budget, too. Duct tape and popsicle sticks.
Always from the hip here. Anyway, it's all on our hips. Go ahead.
It's all in the hips is how you use them. While there remains a lot of nostalgia for the CBS Evening News anchor Walter Cronkite, especially on Spaceship Earth, she framed the current moment as about reorganizing or recognizing the current state of media. And while Cronkite had 2 competitors, CBS has 2 billion. That's not wrong, because it used to be that it's just like pop culture. Everybody got their news from the same handful of sources, so everybody was kind of on the same page for the most part. It was, it was all vanilla. You had vanilla and French vanilla, and that was basically it, right? I'm not talking French. I'm talking it was all kind of the same thing. And now you've got all these different viewpoints, and everybody's screaming for attention. But she said, our strategy until now has been to cling to the audience that remains on broadcast television. If we stick to that strategy, we're toast. So she's going to put a huge emphasis on scoops, investigation.
No, I thought they said they weren't going to put a huge emphasis on scoops.
Yeah, she said
we
we're
are going to put it. Yes.
Investigative
Not scoops that expire minutes later, but investigations. We're going to be, but basically, we're going to go out and be journalists. Is what
we're going to go. Like. We're going to write the news ourselves.
Well, I'm going to expect you to be journalists and do your damn job. Is what it sounds like.
This is kind of the one thing that definitely has changed in journalism is that everything used to be a scoop back in the day, but I think there are a couple things going on to inhibit that. One, it's hard to find when you're competing with 2 billion other outlets to find new news, right? And 2, lawsuits. How are you supposed to give a scoop when it used to be you could report on, well, this is a rumor, this is whatever, and everybody's got a lawyer ready now to jump your ass.
Because it's not just gone from rumor; it's gone from we're going to present it as a
intentional
fact.
Defamation,
and then you have people winning in court, like Mega Kid, and then that one kid about the football game with the headdress and stuff like that, because they deliberately put it in a way that was the fact. It wasn't presented as rumor, possibly. It was these are the facts.
Yeah. And that's the thing, because it used to be that people would, they would find a scoop. It wasn't malicious with the intention of smearing a person. We could talk about that, but it was kind of like, oh yeah, we found out this person's a piece of shit and we're going to put it out there. But, because journalists actually took their jobs seriously, and now everybody's a blogger, basically a Tumblr
Yeah,
blogger.
but I'm just saying
that
it's
wants
more.
to-
What's concerning is if people have built like, and we're seeing it in the last couple of years. This guy comes in and now he's like, oh, we're gonna make a deal with BBC and all this other stuff, and it's basically like these people cannot survive on their own because no one's watching them. So now they're going to shoehorn them in where people are watching and push out people they want to watch. And I'm like, this doesn't make any sense. They don't want to watch BBC, or they'd be watching the fucking BBC.
Yeah,
correct?
well, that's
You
just
know?
it. Nobody's watching CBS News where they're at, so they're going to try to go, get into
they
YouTube.
would be watching it if they wanted to. They aren't, and then so their answer is to push them into the place where people are watching and push out the ones they want to watch, and that's not going to work. That's
so
really stupid.
This is crazy with the BBC. Yeah, so they're doing so badly, and I think they're freaking out because this whole license thing, they're going to lose a lot of their revenue. But they said that they're going to produce original content for YouTube under a landmark deal with the Google-owned platform, which is increasingly challenging the dominance of traditional television networks. So they're going to make original shows for YouTube, which could then later go to iPlayer or the BBC.
Well, listen, they're challenging the traditional television networks because people don't want to watch the traditional television networks. They want to watch the YouTubers. But just shoving it in there isn't going to fix anything. You're just going to make everybody's not going to watch YouTube now either. They're going to go to the next thing. They're going to go where people go, where the people they want to watch go. You can you can't, like, what's it? You can take a horse to water, but you can't make them drink. You can bring the dumbass Hollywood people in here, but people aren't going to want it, or they would have already drank it already.
They said the potential deal comes after Deadline revealed earlier this week that YouTube had overtaken the BBC on a key measurement of audience reach. In an unprecedented moment, YouTube reached 51.9 million viewers in December, more than 1 million ahead of the BBC's equivalent figure of 50.8 million. So
again, why?
Well, this is why I think, and we talked about this before, Doctor Who especially, they were trying to make it something that would go viral with the stupid musical numbers, because I think they were trying to get the Utes to watch it.
More people watch videos shitting on it than they watch the show.
Yes.
That's just it. They surpassed you because people thought it was dumb and they were on YouTube talking about it. Look, again, you guys are they're just going to ruin it. Basically, CBS is going to try to take YouTubers and the people that people want to listen to and bring them there, which, okay, at least they're taking them off of, YouTube and putting on their platform, or they're going to try to make it on YouTube. But what's going to happen is all is going to implode on their ass, and the guy running YouTube is going to be solely responsible because he went chasing these idiots and making deals with these idiots instead of trying to embrace what makes YouTube, why people are watching it more than anything else. So dumbass is going to ruin YouTube.
Yeah, I mean the Oscars, he's definitely, and you watch him and you listen to him, and there definitely is. I see some Iger in there. That kind
There's
of
nothing Iger. He's very. They're kissing my ass, and everybody's kissing his ass because he's in charge of YouTube. So he's just like riding that wave of ass kissing.
Yeah, and he's trying to make more YouTube people into Hollywood people, and it's so weird. They were talking before, and I thought this was kind of two-faced because they're like, we're gonna reduce the spread of low quality AI content, but then they're also rolling out new tools for people to make AI content, but they're using Google's tools to make the slop with. So it's okay if you're using Google's tools, but there's definitely something freaking going on just with the platform in general, and it's all pointing to this Hollywood-ification.
Well, that's what's going to happen. And I get so tired of it. We see this in all the industries, like, or at least ones I've worked in with comics and things too, is that you get people who build it up and do all the hard work, and you get the finally it's validated, people like it, it's doing really well, and then they all want to come in and take it, and then they destroy it because they're going to try to, instead of coming in understanding what it is and being and matching what it is, they want to take it over, and then they end up shoving their shit in it, and it just explodes in a bad way because
we hate it when shit just explodes everywhere.
Because it's like dynamite in the outhouse, because it's like they're just so stupid because they think people, if we go there, people watch us. It's like they're there because they don't want to watch you. That's the point. Like, you're obsolete, and then because they have money, they'll just buy their way in. And it's going to ruin everything. And then you can't do anything about it. Why is there no competitors? Because who controls all the advertising? Let's be honest here. Google controls all the advertising. Do you think they're going to work with a competitor to make sure that they get advertised and they get you paid? Hell no.
No. And their attitude is going to be, I'm telling you, with YouTube especially, their attitude is going to be like, well, our checks are signed by these big companies who are spending millions and millions of dollars a year to produce content. So we're going to boost their content. And I think that's why you see, you know, so many of the late shows and stuff like that are, you know,
We've said that before.
Yeah, pushed to the front of the page because they're like, hey, Comcast is spending big bucks with us. So we're going to push all the SNL stuff, whatever. And, you know, it's definitely going to get harder for creators just in general. Like I'll bust out the tiny violin now, you guys can all, but it is because like if you go to the homepage of YouTube, it used to be that there were like 10 or 12 spots on the homepage of YouTube. And now there's like 2 or 3 spots for long form content, and the rest of it's just all shorts.
And let me guess who gets put in there. You know,
It's
or who's
mostly
going to get put in
mainstream
there.
media.
Yeah, exactly. People
Yeah.
don't. Again, YouTube. If people wanted fucking mainstream media, they'd be watching the mainstream media, wouldn't they? But
Well, they're
not.
going to be watching the mainstream media because the mainstream media is coming over here. They're all coming over here.
Well, that doesn't mean they have to watch it. They're still going to find their people. So that's what I'm saying. Find the channels you love, support the channels you love, get your friends to support the channels you love. You know, tell people about the channels because what's going to happen is they're going to make sure they bury everyone for these dipshits. And what's going to happen is if people wanted your flavor of bullshit, they would be eating your flavor of bullshit. They're not eating your flavor of bullshit and bringing your shit over here and smearing it all over everybody else. You know, isn't going to make everybody want to eat your flavor of bullshit.
Oh God, that got fecal. I was like, what?
Oh well.
It's corny and
But
nutty.
no one wants to eat bullshit.
Just like the mainstream media, it's corny and full of nuts.
That's right.
Anyway, I guess it's nutty and full of corn. Strike that, reverse it. Anyway, that's why I'm not a real journalist because I can't get my.
You didn't go to journalism college.
I didn't go to journalism college for people who can't read good. Neither did most of the people working in the industry. But I actually did work as a journalist. Geeky can vouch. I did.
Yeah,
for a
you
while.
actually have pro cred.
There you go, Barry. I can be bought $150 million.
Barry's a Pittsburgh girl, though, so I'll give her that. But
I will give her that. We get her done. I mean, you can't survive in a place where you get 2 freaking feet of snow, right? And and people are out there in their shorts.
Us PA people are scrappy. We're scrappy as hell.
Oh yeah.
So anyway, are we gonna wrap this up?
We're gonna wrap it up. So please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants. We'll talk later.
Bye.